Hey there, amazing people. I'm thrilled to have you here today. Greetings, explorers of knowledge. Join us as we embark on a quest to understand Campylognathoides. Campylognathoides curved jaw, Strand 1928 is an extinct genus of pterosaur discovered in the Württemberg Lias deposits dated to the early Toarcian age of Germany. This first specimen, however, consisted only of wing fragments. Further better preserved specimens were found in the Holzmaden shale. Based on these specimens, Felix Plieninger erected a new genus. Turning our focus to discovery, let's explore its key elements. In 1858, Friedrich August Quenstedt named a new species of Pterodactylus, Peliasicus. It was based on a fossil, holotype GPIT 9533, consisting of some wing bones, found on the Württemberg near Metzingen in layers dating from the early Toarcian, about 180 million years old. The specific name referred to the layers. Quenstedt thought he had identified long metacarpals in the wing, concluding that the new species was therefore not belonging to more basal genera, like the long-tailed Hamvinchus. In 1893, commercial fossil collector Bernhard Hoff Sr. discovered a skeleton of a large pterosaur near Holzmaden. In 1894, Felix Plieninger based a new genus on this specimen, Campylognathoides. The genus name is derived from Greek campylos, bent, and gnathos, jaw, in reference to the bent lower jaw. The type species is Campylognathoides zitteli. The specific name honors Alfred von Zittel. The holotype is SMNS 9787. In 1897, Hoff prepared another specimen that eventually in 1903 was acquired by the Carnegie Museum of Natural History at Pittsburgh. This fossil, CM 11424, is due to its completeness the best source of information about the genus. In 1901, Plieninger for the first time studied Peliasicus and discovered that Quenstedt had mistaken the, in reality short, metacarpal for a coracoid, meaning it was a basal pterosaur. In 1906, Plieninger referred Peliasicus and the Pittsburgh specimen to Campylognathoides, though not yet establishing the specific status of each of the three exemplars. In 1907, however, Plieninger recognized a second species of Campylognathoides, Celsius Liasicus, to which CM 11424 was referred also. Norwegian entomologist Embrich Strand discovered in the ears that the name Campylognathoides had previously been used for the African bug Campylognathoides nigrensis, a genus of the Heteroptera named in 1890. As the name was thus preoccupied, he renamed the pterosaur Campylognathoides in 1928. During the 20th century, new finds have brought the number of known specimens to about a dozen. As we enter this new phase, let's analyze species from different angles and evaluate its significance. Three species of Campylognathoides have been named. The Campylognathoides zitteli Plieninger, 1894 is the type species. The larger Holzmaden Campylognathoides, Celsius zitteli SMNS 9787, had a wingspan of Campylognathoides Liasicus Quenstedt, 1858. Celsius Liasicus had a 3-foot wingspan, making it smaller than its Holzmaden contemporary, Celsius zitteli Campylognathoides Indicus Jane, 1974. Celsius Indicus was described by Sonlal Jain on the basis of a fragment of jaw, ISIR 48, recovered from Chennai district, India. Kevin Padian considers this a nomen dubium, possibly based on a fish fossil. That the coater formation in which it was found has since been redated to the Middle Jurassic or later seems to preclude any close connection to Campylognathoides, even if it were pterosaur. The distinction between Celsius Liasicus and Celsius zitteli is problematical. Plieninger merely recognized the smaller species because he considered its fossil too poor in quality to refer other specimens to. However, in 1925, Swedish researcher Carl Wyman, studying specimen UUPM, concluded that a fundamental morphological difference could distinguish the two species. Celsius zitteli has a proportionally much longer wing. In 2008, however, Plieninger pointed out that this might well have been a matter of ontogenetic development, larger individuals growing extra large wings to limit the wing load. Other differences, such as the larger number of teeth in the lower jaw, a longer snout and nares, 5 instead of 4 sacrals, perpendicular sacral ribs and a longer leg, might conceivably also be size-related. Final proof could only be given by a continuous growth series, as previously has been done in the case of Rhamphrinchus and Pterodactylus. Provisionally, Plieninger kept distinguishing 2 species, but moved 2 specimens to Celsius. Zitterli, SMNS 51100 and GPIT 24470, because of their larger size and morphological similarities. Turning our focus to description, let's explore its key elements. Compared to its contemporary from the same layers Toarcian, the snout on this genus is relatively short, though the skull is still in general elongated, be it much lighter built. The large eye sockets, placed low in the skull above a narrow jugal, have caused some researchers to speculate that Campylognathoides had especially acute vision, or possibly even a nocturnal lifestyle. The back of the skull is relatively high and flat, with a sudden downturn just in front of the eyes. The snout ends in a slender point curving a bit upwards at its very end. A large part of the snout is occupied by long bony nares. Below them a small triangular skull opening, the Fenestra anterbitalis, is present. Reflecting the more shallow snout, the teeth of Campylognathoides are also short and not at all linearies or fang-like as in the markedly heterodont Toarcian. They are conical and recurved but have a broad base with the point beveled off from the inside, forming a sharp and strong cutting surface. In the upper jaw there are 4 rather widely spaced teeth in the premaxilla, gradually increasing in size from the front to the back. The 4th pair of teeth is the largest. Behind them are 10 smaller teeth in the maxilla, gradually decreasing posteriorly. In the low jaw there are 12 to 14 teeth present in Celsius. Liasicus, 16 to 19 in Celsius. Zitterli. The largest total number is thus 66. According to a study by Kevin Plieninger, there are 8 cervical vertebrae, 14 dorsals, 4 or 5 sacrals, and up to 38 caudal vertebrae. The tail base is flexible with about 6 short vertebrae. Behind them the caudals elongate and are stiffened by very long extensions, allowing the tail to function as a rudder. The sternum of Campylognathoides was a rather large rectangular plate of bone with a short forward-facing crest called a cristospina. The upper arm is short but robust with a square-delta pectoral crest. The lower arm too is short, but wing length is considerable due to the hand, which has short metacarpals but a very long wing finger for a basal pterosaur, of which the second phalanx is the largest. The pteroid is short and robust. The pelvis is not very well known. A fossil collector found a well-preserved Campylognathoides hip in a Braunschweig shale quarry in 1986. This pelvis, BSP 1985-I87, proved to be scientifically significant because the hip socket was, according to Peter Wellenhofer, in an upward lateral position, preventing the animal from being able to orient its legs erectly like in dinosaurs, birds and mammals. This would prove that Campylognathoides was not well able to walk on its hind legs but must have walked quadrupedally. This gait posture has been confirmed in other rhamphrinchoids, i.e. basal pterosaurs, as well. However, Plieninger in 2009 concluded the opposite, stating that an erected position was necessary to place the feet on the ground and that, though a quadruple gait was possible, a bipedal way of locomotion was a precondition for a fast gait. This subject remains highly controversial. The leg is rather short and the feet are small. The 5th toe, often interpreted as carrying a membrane between the legs, is exceptionally short for a basal pterosaur. In this chapter, we'll be shedding light on classification and its role in shaping our understanding. Plieninger in his later publications assigned Campylognathus to the rhamphrinchoida. As this suborder is a paraphyletic assemblage of not specially related basal pterosaurs, this classification merely states the negative fact that it was not a pterodactyloid. A positive determination was first attempted by Baron Franz Nopser, who in 1928 assigned the genus to the subfamily Euhamphryncina within the family Euhamphryncidae. After a period in which very little work was done on pterosaur systematics, in 1967 Oscar Kuhn placed Campylognathoides in its own subfamily within the Euhamphryncidae, the Campylognathoina. However, in 1974 Peter Wellenhofer concluded that it was placed in a more basal position in the phylogenetic tree, below the Euhamphryncidae. In the early 21st century this was confirmed by the first extensive exact cladistic analyses. In 2003 both David Unwin and Alexander Kellner introduced a clade Campylognathoideae. Within Unwin's terminology, this clade is the sister clade of the Breviquartusa within the Longcognatha. Applying Kellner's terminology, it is the most basal offshoot within the Novuloida. There is no material difference between the two positions. According to the analyses, Campylognathoides would be closely related to Eudomorphodon, to which it is similar in skull, sternum, and humerus form. This was confirmed by Padian in 2009, though Padian also pointed out several basal features present in Eudomorphodon but lacking in Campylognathoides. In 2010 an analysis was published by Brian Andrews showing that Eudomorphodon together with Astridactylus formed a very basal clade, leaving Campylognathoides as the only known member of the Campylognathoideae. Other recent phylogenetic analyses confirm these results, and suggest that Campylognathoides is more derived than all Triassic-aged pterosaurs, as well as the early Jurassic Dimorphodon and Paropsicephalus. Campylognathoides is the basalmost member of the Novuloida, which is defined as a node-based taxon consisting of the last common ancestor of Campylognathoides, Quetzalcoatlus, and all its descendants. Brace yourselves for the next chapter, where we'll be dissecting paleobiology. Traditionally, a piscivorous lifestyle is attributed to Campylognathoides, as to most pterosaurs, in this case supported by the provenance of the finds from marine sediments and the very long wings. Pterosaurologist Kevin Padian, however, has suggested that, in view of the stout short teeth, ideal for delivering a piercing bite, the form might have been a predator of small terrestrial animals instead. Conversely, Mark Whitten suggests the construction of Campylognathoides' extremely robust forelimbs, with proportionally long wing fingers, could be a specialization for a fast aerial lifestyle comparable to those of falcons and mastiff bats. Stay connected and join our community by subscribing and following me on other platforms.